Okay, thank you so much, Gloria, for being here. Thank you all, everyone, for tuning in tonight and staying with us through our election night coverage. We're closer to the end now than the beginning, so that's awesome. There's been lots of initial returns out of the East Coast and the Midwest, and we are going to be talking next with candidate Paul Garlinghouse out of Connecticut. We've got an infographic, I believe, here from Mike that we can put up again for Connecticut, or for the first time. I'm not sure if we've already put that up or not. Oh no, we're in Colorado. No, Connecticut, Colorado, Connecticut. There we go. Look, I found the right slide. Yay!
Yay. So
Okay.
21 Connecticut Greens are running this year, including two incumbents. Greens first ran in Connecticut for New Haven mayor and city council in 1985. This does look familiar. I think maybe we had Connecticut with us before as well. But 476 Green candidates in the party's history. 63 Greens have been elected, sixth most of any state. And heading into this November 2023 elections, 9 Connecticut Greens hold elected office. And there are 241 registered Greens in Connecticut, down from 1,332 after the party lost statewide ballot status as of November 2022 and had to start afresh. And today we are going to be joined by Paul Garlinghouse. He ran for the New Haven Board of Alders for Ward 13. Now, he was running because current alders are all Democrats, and he wanted the group to have a new perspective. He wants to make neighborhoods safer through improved sidewalks and traffic calming, supports affordable housing, and supports school board members being elected instead of appointed. He ran before for Register of Voters, and he's with us tonight to let us know how it went. Welcome, Paul. Do you have results
Thank you.
from your election?
Well, we didn't pull off the miracle of winning, but we did scare the bejesus out of the entrenched Democratic machine. I guarantee you that. They were pulling out all the stops and they were sweating and busting. And in the process, we got a lot of people. It was over 130 people that came out in an off-year election to support us and to call for a change. And it was a really strong start to our rebuilding of a New Haven Green Party. At the height of Green power on the Board of Alders, the 30-member Board of Alders had 2 Greens on it. And we were basically the minority party equal to, and then at one point, more members than what the Republican Party had. But since 2011, no party but the Democrats have been in power in the 30-member Board of Alders, which is our legislature, and the mayor as well. Obviously, this is a problem. And by the way, with me is Justin Paglino, without whom I could not have gotten this far. Justin Paglino is chair of the Greater New Haven Green Party. And Justin was, without Justin, walking with me, knocking all these doors. We connected with Greens who have sort of fallen away from the party and who have run in past years. And because we also had over 3% in the registrar's race that I ran a couple of years ago citywide, we do have the status to have a citywide Green Town Committee that can support candidates to run in all of the 30 aldermanic districts and to build the party back in that way. In addition, we got commitments from my victorious incumbent opponent to do a lot of the traffic calming improvements we've been calling for. And the mayor, who came out on election day, also committed to appoint minority party members, including Greens, to the boards and commissions that are largely full of unfilled slots. So that's what we accomplished tonight. Because there's just such a divergence in our whole philosophies. And of course, if I had filled up that line with my name, it would have been a lot easier to unseat the Democrat. But I'm a Green. I'm a Green for a reason. We're a party that stands for something other than just grabbing power. And we're a party that stands for our core values. And I'll always stand for that. And I'm not going to sacrifice that for any sort of notion of political expedience. And that's just how I live. Okay. So
Excellent.
I'm very proud. Yeah.
Thank you, Paul. Could you explain what a board of alders is? We don't have those in my state. Is that like a
I
city
know. Well,
council?
this is New England. It's what you would might call a city council in other less ancient parts of the United States. And so the alders are the legislators, and like some places that you'll be familiar with, these are geographic districts, wards, that geographically divide up the city into these sort of neighborhood-sized chunks. We have not even 2,000 registered voters in my ward. So I was able to knock on the doors of at least half those folks during the actual course of the campaign and really make a lot of connections. And we had good support. We had a lot of dissatisfaction with the current alder, and we also got her to come out last night and do a candidate forum and answer questions about the issues that the constituents were asking about, something she was extraordinarily reluctant to do. And we forced her to do it. And I feel like we really landed ourselves forward. Party running the entire government all the time. That's just not democracy. And it is not going to represent the people of your community. And it disenfranchises huge amounts of our voters, not just the Republicans, but or the registered Greens, all the registered unaffiliated voters of every stripe, whether it's socialist or any other sort of party you can imagine, independent. They're all disenfranchised by that, and they have no representation. And there's no one to say, listen, I have a different perspective. I'm not beholden to your power structure and your committee and your ward. And, the comparisons with totalitarian systems are quite obvious. I don't have to really draw that line. But they sort of feel like, yay, we're Democrats and we're winning and that's great and we're saving the world. So, it's a struggle, but honestly, we really got a lot of folks, a lot of support, a lot of people who feel disenfranchised by the system to come out and come together. And we're continuing to grow our power in small and large ways as we go to this next year and the next year and the next year.
Well, I really appreciate what you're saying. I'm Cam Gordon. It's good to see you. I'm glad that you're here. And I'm from Minneapolis, and we are very much a one-party town of Democrats. And so when we've had Greens on the council, it's been a breakthrough. And there aren't any Republicans on the council and haven't been for a decade or so. But I was intrigued by one thing. This is kind of minutia probably, but you mentioned that now you could create a green town committee. Is that something that government sanctions, and are there resources involved? Could you explain a little more?
Absolutely. So what it is the Democratic Town Committee has nominates candidates for citywide and aldermanic races. Okay, and those candidates almost always win unopposed. In 20 of the districts, even this year, they were unopposed. All right. And then the Republicans, put up their person, like they put up a person who never campaigned one day during this entire cycle, but got 80 votes or 50 votes or something. And they are a structure. They hold a convention. They put candidates on a ballot, and they hold a ballot line.
Like a pack.
Yeah. And basically, as a Green, Patricia Kane, who ran 2 years ago as a Green in my ward and kind of paved the way for, what we're able to build on this time, she had to petition onto the ballot and she had to raise all her own money. There was no central kind of committee to support her and to provide any kind of resources. And the resources are obviously, a modest amount of monetary resources, which at this level makes a big difference. But it's also the institutional knowledge, the understanding of all the details of how you actually work every little tiny wrinkle of this sort of Byzantine electoral system that the major parties are quite well versed in, and that we keep having to try to learn and climb up this steep learning curve of how all of these things work. Like we didn't even scratch the surface of everything you can do with absentee ballots, because with absentee ballots, you can take a result like we had today and flip it by coming in the absentee ballots if you run that sort of,
Mhm.
effort. So there's a lot of things we're learning. And Doug Larry, I want to give a shout out to Doug because I see him over there, has been kind of our wise old man and guru, sort of schooling us patiently in the intricate ways of electoral politics, of which he is a past master.
Yes, we had a great conversation with Doug earlier this evening. Didn't win the race, but of course it was a long shot. And so, we run because we believe in our values, ethics. And so it's not about winning necessarily. It's about standing up for what we believe and articulating our positions and indeed shifting the Overton window. If we can't win, if the incumbents can take on our positions and advocate for them, hey, that works too, right?
Oh, they were doing that big time. They were grabbing our traffic calming issues right out of my mouth today, and I'm like, okay, thank you for committing to do that. We'll hold you to it.